Inquisitor, I heard a tapping. My skills are required.
And you are?
Speaker Vios Anaxas. I have come from Navarra as a voice for the dead. Welcome them, and they will serve your cause.
The Inquisition is open to any allies.
Warmth I do not often find. Thank you. I am of the Mortalitazi. We tend to those who have passed and revere their lives by honoring them in death. And when the living are threatened, we give the bodies of the dead physical purpose once more. Necromancy, Inquisitor. The dead will serve for you.
What is a Mortalitazi?
We are the caretakers of the grand necropolis of Navarra. For the treasured relative, we usher a spirit of the Fade into the void of their mortal form. It honors them both. But when enemies threaten the living, we turn death into a weapon of war, instead of merely the result.
You're a mage who manipulates life. How is this not blood magic?
Blood magic consumes life. It tears at the living to manipulate and destroy. It is a cancer among our kind. We honor life by venerating the dead. We give their mortal form purpose. In combat, perhaps only for a few moments, but that is still more than they had. More than opposing you normally allows.
You're saying you can bring the dead back to life?
Of course not. The souls of our departed cross the Fade to be with the Maker. The body is left empty.
Then what is it that you do?
In the Grand Necropolis, we would usher in a displaced spirit of the Fade, eliminating imbalance. But this is war. Every battlefield has one thing in abundance: death. I turn the bodies of enemies into weapons against them. We do not manipulate the living. We make use of the dead.
Tell me why this would best suit me.
It is not for everyone. Yet we all reach beyond life. You have already killed many out of necessity. To stop at death is wasteful. Death can make allies of enemies. Death can rend the battlefield. Death can terrify.
People will fear me.
Don't you want to terrify? Fear means there are fewer to fight next time. Fear means lives are saved, if that is your concern.
I'm ready to learn what you know.
Then your journey begins as others end. The steps are small, but vital. There is instruction and veneration. Then you'll return. We shall see what this life holds for you.
Hello? Yes, hello. I am your trainer.
Yes?
I am your trainer.
You said that.
Good, because it has been a long journey. The cause is just, and if we don't start soon, you won't have time to learn. I am your trainer.
Thank you for coming to train me.
What? Oh, yes, of course. You're welcome. Thank you. I was charged with studying the breach and the subsequent rifts to discover how they affected traditional disciplines. I was enthralled. So were the 19 others, I presume. They're dead. They learnt the power, but couldn't wield it. Rift Mage Inquisitor. The forces are incredible. And with training, you will be incredible. I know how not to die, and I can teach it. It's incredible.
Very well. Show me how this should go.
It goes places you have been, and some you have not. That is necessary. So the price is not paid twice. Follow the instruction, and you'll understand the power. Then, I'll show you more. After all, I am your trainer.
Hold and declare, Inquisitor.
What do you mean?
I ask your intent. I was summoned to oversee training, and I would know my charge. I am your commander in this matter, Commander Helene.
Thank you for coming, Commander Helene.
Commander will suffice, recruit. I teach the skills of the Knight Enchanter. It is a rank. It is a life. Understanding its hierarchy is the first step. You already know this. You were not made Inquisitor and then taught to lead. I will teach you how to rise to your place. How to join your warriors, spectre in hand. How to command the ranks while standing beside... Are you ready?
I'm ready to learn what you know.
Then we will learn the simple steps, recruit. And we shall see what heights you reach. You have a task, a simple construction. Go, learn. Soon you will lead from the front. Soon you will command.
Worcester, we received a shipment of invisible nuts the other day.
Is that all for today?
Not by a long shot.
Stefan finally died. It was a blessing, really. He's been in so much pain since Haven. He was out of his mind at the end. He smiled. Said he smelled his mother's.
I await your return, Inquisitor. As do the spirits of those we have lost, or caused to be lost. Necromancy, Inquisitor. The dead will serve for you.
I'm ready to learn what you know.
You have your instruction. The dead have time, I do not. Complete your tasks.
I suppose you're right.
Nothing?
Good day to you.
I told you I was right not to send supplies to Haven.
Look what happens
So
there.
Gaspard favors the trade you've started, but Celine favors the houses you married into.
An impressive title, Inquisitor. Would you spend like it? An impressive title, Inquisitor. Would you spend like it?
Inquisitor, welcome. Thanks to your investment, I have all manner of runners scouring the wake of your adventures. If there's a tome that eludes you, I will endeavor to fill the gaps. I will not deny you a good story nor valuable information.
I await your return, Inquisitor. As do the spirits of those we have lost, or caused to be lost. Necro, Inquisitor. The dead will serve for you.
I'm ready.
You have your instruction.
What is a seeker of truth exactly?
They are not. You're a liar.
Gone, almost to a...
Maker, who's protecting us now?
The Inquisition, of course.
Maker.
Those who oppose thee shall know the wrath of shall burn.
One moment you're trying to restore order in a world gone mad. That should be enough for anyone to handle, yes? Then, out of nowhere, an archdemon appears and kicks you in the head. What? You thought this would be easy? No, I wouldn't crush our village like an anthill. About that, archdemons like to crush, you know. Can't be helped. Am I speaking too quickly for you?
The attack was unexpected. We're all rattled.
I'm not rattled. I'm the hero of this tale.
Then why isn't Corypheus after you?
Good point. Does that make me a lackey? That's dangerous work. I always assumed the Elder One behind the Venatori was a Magister. But this is something else completely. In Tevinter, they say the Chantry's tales of Magisters starting the Blight are just that. Tales. But here we are. One of those very Magisters, a Born.
Who does the Imperium say started the Blight?
You know how it is. Not us. They say Darkspawn were always there. Magisters and the Blight aren't even related. Is that a surprise? No one wants to admit they shit the bed. But if Corypheus is one of the Magisters who entered the Black City and he's Darkspawn, what other explanation is there?
Why does that make you angry?
Because the Imperium is my home. I knew what I was taught couldn't be the whole truth, but I assumed there had to be a kernel of it, somewhere. But no, it was us all along. We destroyed the world.
You didn't do anything. Those men did. 1,000 years ago.
True, except that one of them is up and walking around right now. Not to mention I have idiot countrymen who would happily follow him down that path again. No one will thank me, whatever happens. No one will thank you either. You know that, yes?
What will happen? Nobody does.
An optimist! Such a rare breed. I upon a unicorn. All I know is this. Corypheus needs to be stopped. Men like him ruined my home. I won't let him... Oh, and congratulations on that whole leading the Inquisition thing, by the way.
You have remarkably little here on early Tevinter history. To the Inquisition, and the best they can do is the Malefica Imperio, trite propaganda. But if you want 20 volumes on whether Divine Galatea took a shit on... This is evidently the place to find it.
If I knew what you were looking for, I could help you.
Because you're a mage? Considering education standards in the South, that's hardly a recommendation. I apologize. That was unworthy. Did I see something by Genitivi here? I could have sworn.
What is this about, Dorian?
When everyone returned, told us about your tumble into the Abyssal Rift. You went into the Fade. Physically went in. You do realize this feat hasn't been performed in over 1,000 years. Corypheus and his contemporaries entered the Fade and began the Blights. In comparison...
It would have been easier if you'd been with me.
Without question. But I'm rather glad I wasn't.
No sense of adventure? Surprising.
I've not your talent for survival. And not everyone is as discerning as I. If you can walk in the Fade, others will try to follow. Knows what secrets Corypheus has revealed. Not all of them will be as lucky. What they could unleash. My advice? Keep this quiet. Let them speculate. Too many idiots in the world use their problem. Exactly the home. There's a copy of the liberal name. Grasp no family to the luster would come. Wish me luck.
Inquisitor.
The spiderwebs help stop, and they prevent wounds from getting infected. Gather as many as you can. The strangest thing, though, I can't recall where I heard that. I think I remember a young man.
We are honored to serve.
The recipe is the ceremony. You must choose this role.
I to commit to this, to train in next.
You as well. You have begun a path that goes well beyond where others must stop. You will find, Inquisitor, that life is not so final as some might think. Welcome to our way.
Strangest thing.
Inquisitor, I've found where the Red Templars come from. Therenfall Redoubt. The Knights were fed red lyrium until they turned into monsters. Samson took over after their corruption was complete.
How do you know Samson?
He was a Templar in Kirkwall, until he was expelled from the Order. I knew he was an addict, but this... Red lyrium is nothing like the lyrium given by the Chantry. Its power comes with a terrible madness.
The Red Templars swarming Haven were proof enough.
We cannot allow them to gain strength. The Red Templars still require lyrium. If we find their source, weaken them and their leader.
I like finding the Red Templars' vulnerabilities before fighting them head-on.
We'll need every advantage against what courses their veins. Caravans of red lyrium are being smuggled along trade roads. Investigating them could lead to where it's being mined. If you confront them, be wary. Anything connected to Samson will be well guarded.
Majestic. How is a place like...
Inquisitor. Inquisitor.
The city has agreed to send us 5 dozen guardsmen.
Not raw recruits. With luck, they'll know which end to grip a sword by.
Let us begin.
All right. To reach the Empress before Corypheus. The only question is, how?
We know how. I have our way in. The real question is, where is our enemy hiding? At the urging of Grand Duchess Florian, the Empress is holding a ball. Absolutely everyone will be there. During the festivities, Céline will be meeting for peace talks with the usurper Duke Gaspard and Ambassador Briala.
The assassin must be hiding within one of these factions.
What do we know about Duke Gaspard?
The man who would have been Emperor. He's Céline's cousin, and was first in line to inherit the throne when Emperor Florian died. Céline outmaneuvered him. She won over the Council of Heralds who hold authority over title disputes. She became Empress, and he a general in the Imperial Army. He's well loved by the troops. He's also a Chevalier. Most of their number sided with him when Empress.
Aren't the Chevaliers part of the army? Why would they follow the Duke?
Most Chevaliers are sworn to serve the crown, but that does not give them faith in the person wearing it. The Empress has tried to improve relations with Ferelden and Navarra. The Chevaliers see her as anti-military. They believe Gaspard could lead the Empire back to the glory of Draken's expansion years.
Who is this Ambassador Briala?
In name only, she has organized the elves of Halam Sharal into an underground army. The Empress invited her to the peace talks in a bid to gain the elves' alliance in the war. That would be without the rumor that Briala is a jilted lover of Celine's. A personal grudge of saboteurs at her command. Promising lead.
Wait, the elven leader is a jilted lover of the Empress.
It's not widely known, just a palace servant years ago. If it's true and were to get out, the Empress and an elf could destroy Celine's court. Even if a lie, Briala could use it to blackmail the Empress. She has some connection to...
Do we need to go to the peace talks? The Empress must have personal guards. We could just warn her she's in danger.
We've made the attempt, but...
It seems that our messages never reached her. Someone intercepted them.
It's better that we don't leave this to chance. If Orlais falls to Corypheus, no land is safe.
Tell me everything we know about the Empress.
Empress Celine is a renowned diplomat and reformer. She works tirelessly to secure peace for the Empire. Fortunately, many Orlesians view peace as complacency. She has yet to name an heir, leaving the future of the Empire in doubt if anything happens to her. Especially when the next in line is her cousin with few friends on the Council of...
Celine is surrounded at all times by countless guards, courtiers, servants, and vassals. What for an assassin to hide than the Empress's own household?
How can Gaspard still be next in line while he waged war against his Empress?
The title Grand Duke indicates a prince before the Empress took the throne.
You've given me plenty to think about.
Bard and Celine's army's entrenched. We cannot openly march troops to the palace.
My agents with soldiers get inside. But it must be a few at a time. Attention.
Understood. Just give the word.
The political situation in Halam Shiral hangs by a thread. The Empress fears our presence could sever it. The Grand Duke is only too happy to have us at the ball as his guests, so our invitation comes from him. Whether we act as his allies or upset the balance of power, he gains an opportunity, if not a clear advantage.
It is a great pleasure to meet you, Inquisitor Lavellen. The rumors coming out of the West say you battled an army of demons. Imagine Inquisition could accomplish with the full support rightful Emperor of Orlais.
I can see many benefits to such an alliance.
Keep the image firmly in mind. We may see it materialize by the end of the evening. I am not a man who forgets his friends, Inquisitor. You help me, I'll help you. My lady, Are you prepared to shock the court by walking into the Grand Ball with a hateful usurper? They will be telling stories of this into the next.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Duke Gaspard. I look forward to ending this civil war.
As do I, my friend. The Empire needs stability and security, now more than ever. If you have the safety of the Orlesian people at heart, Inquisitor, perhaps you will look into something for me. This elven woman, Briala, I suspect that she intends to disrupt the negotiations. My people have found these ambassadors all over the fortifications. Sabotage seems the least of their crimes.
That sounds like something I should look into.
Be as discreet as possible. I detest the game, but if we do not play it well, our enemies will make us look like villains. We're keeping the court waiting, Inquisitor. Shall we?
Is that the Inquisitor?
An elf savage! Oh, make a forbid!
Has anyone having a thought on the casualty during the day?
Maker! What? I cannot find my ring!
You're looking for?
You are a treasure! I cannot believe you found it! You have saved me a lifetime of mortification. How can I thank you enough? Where could it be?
Are all the Delancey's here?
Maker, I hope not. It's been too long since I've had any word from Valois. It's been too long since I've had any word from Valois.
Foreigners.
Interesting.
Any word from the front lines?
My spies said the bodies were beyond counting.
Surely the Empress will put an end to the war tonight.
Pray, my friend. If the Maker does not hear us now, just pray. Inquisitor, a moment, if you please. I must warn you before you go inside. How you speak to the court is a matter of life and death. It is no simple matter of etiquette and protocol. Every word, every gesture is measured and evaluated for weakness.
I'll keep my guard up. Don't worry.
The game is like Wicked Grace played to the death. You must never reveal your cards. When you meet the Empress, the eyes of the entire court will be upon you. You are safer in the Fade with the Fear Demon.
It might be a good idea for the others to hear this warning. Especially Sarah. Maybe tell her twice.
I'll have a few discreet words. Everything will be fine. Andraste, watch over us all.
Is that the Inquisitor?
A Dalish? No, that cannot be.
I need to have this let out a little. I need jacket let out.
How can they call this a vestibule? It's a foyer.
Please, it's barely half the size of the foyer in the Imperial Palace. It's obviously just a visitor.
And now presenting Grand Duke Gaspard de Chalon, and accompanying him, Lady Inquisitor Lavellen. Vanquisher of the rebel mages of Heraldry, crusher of states of the mage underground,
He is so full of it. That's not how it went.
champion of the blessed Andraste herself.
Did you see their faces? Priceless.
Accompanying the Inquisitor, Cassandra, Allegra, Portia, Calogera, Philomena,
Get on with it.
Pantagast, 14th cousin to the King of Navarra, 9 times removed, hero of Orlais, right hand of the Divine. Madame Vivienne, first enchanter of the Circle of Magi, enchanter of the Imperial Court, mistress of the Duke of Ghislaine. Her ladyship, my bulls each, of course. Sir Callum Stanton Rutherford of Honley, commander of the forces of the Inquisition, former Knight of Kirkwall. Lady Liliana, Nightingale of the Imperial Court, veteran of the Fifth Blight, Seneschal of the Inquisition, and left hand of the Divine. And Lady Josephine Charette Montillier of Antiva City, Ambassador of the Inquisition.
Cousin, my dear sister.
Grand Duke, we are always honored when your presence graces our court.
Don't waste my time with pleasantries, Celine. We have business to conclude.
We will meet for the negotiations after we have seen to our other guests.
Inquisitor?
Lady Inquisitor, we welcome you to the Winter Palace. Allow us to present our cousin, the Grand Duchess of Leeds, without whom this gathering would never have been possible.
What an unexpected pleasure. I was not aware the Inquisition would be part of our festivities. We will certainly speak later, Inquisitor.
Your arrival at court is like a cool wind on a summer's day.
I am delighted to be here, Your Majesty.
We have heard much of your exploits, Inquisitor. They have made grand tales for long evenings. How do you find Halam Shiral?
I've never seen anything to equal the Winter Palace.
We hope you will find time to take in some of its beauties. Feel free to enjoy the pleasure of the ballroom, Inquisitor. We look forward to watching you dance.
Inquisitor, a word when you have a moment.
Tell me, Yvette, how are Mama and Papa? Are they in good health? Do they want for anything?
Papa's perfectly happy. Josephine! Oh, Josephine! Is this her?
Inquisitor, please allow me to present to you my younger sister, Yvette Gabriella Montillier.
Delighted to meet you, Lady Montillier.
Inquisitor, I've heard so much about you, but not as much as I want. Josephine writes, but she never tells me anything. Is it true? Rebel mages in Redcliffe were performing blood rites and orgies before you stopped them.
Where did you hear such nonsense?
Everyone in Antiva says so. Is it true?
Of course not. How do people come up with these ideas?
Oh, how dull Redcliffe must have been then.
I'll see you later.
Another time. Can you believe the Inquisition filled its ranks?
Dean was having the entire wing redecorated.
Crotchrup?
But the timing
Beats
was
his squire.
atrocious.
He's a she. Why would she do such a thing now?
What a fun, close marrying crowd.
Think I can get you to dance with me later?
Me on their precious tiles. That's a good one. Besides, I don't. That's not me, yeah? Couldn't be me. Not likely. I'm watching them watch you. They're all glances and titters. Not sure if they're allowed to like you yet. Pathetic.
Any thoughts on who we're investigating?
The Empress is pretty. It'd be fun to drink and kill stuff with Gaspard. Briala is friggin' funny. Elves, elves, elves. But it's really a pissing match with an old lover. Don't know the rest, but that explains a lot. They're all lying, but Celine's nice to look at. Good thing we're here to save.
Any hidden treasures from friends of your little network?
You mean, do any of the servants fox between these windy tits hate them enough to give up a stash or two? I'm not saying yes, but wait, yes I am. There's some good stuff hidden around. Keep an eye out.
Back soon.
Not going anywhere.
And here we are. You haven't embarrassed yourself as much as I feared. Well done.
I've always wondered, what's the Orlesian fascination with masks?
My dear, not just lay. Who you are as a daughter, a lover, a friend, are very different people from the Inquisitor and Herald of Andraste. Orlesians codify this truth, make it visible. By giving each of these selves its own separate face, they believe they can be their truest selves, unmasked.
With this, Vivienne.
This is the game, Inquisitor. Of course I enjoy it. If I didn't, I'd be dead by now.
Anything happening I should know?
Cole is behaving even more oddly than usual. Someone should keep an eye on him.
Any words of wisdom in the ballroom?
Speak to the Council of Heralds. Them are here tonight. The Seventh Council is indisposed with the negotiations. Council are the highest-ranking players of the game. They see everything. They might know something we can...
Tell me, Vivienne, where'd Cram to fall?
What I want is irrelevant, darling. Orlais requires stability, and that is best for Celine.
Be ready to act when I give the signal.
Always, my dear.
Laurent was the life.
Are you married?
I had hoped to tour the royal wing
Married
gardens
to my
again.
work. I have heard they are the finest in the Empire. It's such a pity.
Can I get you a drink, Commander Cullen?
Please, Inquisitor, did you need something? The sooner we track down this infiltrator, the better.
Do you have any advice?
Orlesian social events don't fall within my area of expertise. There are a few here we can trust. Be careful.
Who do you think the Ingort?
Claim to the throne is fair. Orlais needs someone capable of responding to the crisis at hand. A military-minded leader seems the best option.
You've attracted a following. Who are all?
I don't know. They won't leave me alone.
I take it you're not yourself.
At this point, the headache I'm developing is preferable to the company.
Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary?
Not yet. It would be easier if people would stop talking to me. Not you.
We'll talk later.
I await your signal.
How can I afford to renovate the
What were they doing in the western approach? It's a wasteland.
Did you just grab my butt?
I still remember the day they...
Good. I was hoping I would catch you. What did the Duke say?
He points the finger at Ambassador Briala.
The ambassador is up to something, but she can't be our focus. The best place to strike at Celine is from her side. Empress Celine is fascinated by mysticism, foreseeing the future, speaking with the dead, that sort of rubbish. She had an advisor, an apostate who charmed the emperors of the court as if by magic. I've had dealings with her in the past. She is ruthless and capable of...
That sounds exactly like the person we're looking for.
She's worth investigating. Can't be sure of anything here. Both leads point toward the guest wing. It's a promising place to start. I'll coordinate with our spies to see if I can find anything better. I will be in the ballroom if you need me.
I had no idea. Good to know.
We are not serving drinks. Bother someone else.
Interesting.
The package is in the guest wing. Upper room.
The one of the garden. Statuette.
Gaspard is wasting his...
Well, that's useful. There must be something here.
Well, well, the Inquisitor. Here as a guest of my nephew, no less. I'm curious.
I didn't know the Grand Duke was your nephew.
He's my brother's eldest boy. Always a difficult child, Gaspard. Never listened, never did what he was told. He was raised a prince. All his life we told him he would be emperor. It was his destiny, his duty. What else should he do with his life if not fight for his destiny?
Have you noticed anything strange this evening?
My niece Florian hasn't spoken to me all evening. That's not like her.
What can you tell me about the Civil War?
If you are hoping for insight, you've come to the wrong man. It's war. It is brutal, and terrible, and sometimes necessary. There's nothing more to say.
Inquisitor Llewellyn, don't head into the servants' wing if you value your neck. Not one else gone in there tonight and come out again.
Our man was supposed to make a pickup hours ago. Bastard's likely dead by now.
Did you hear what Gaspard said to Duke Germain? His own uncle.
Or his...
Well, well. What's this?
Hours ago, dallying with some serving girl while I deal with Gaspard's vitriol.
I can't imagine Gaspard being vitriolic. What's the matter?
The Duke bears a grudge against the council for refusing him the crown. He's threatened death if they refuse him again, collectively and individually, along with their vassals. Come from. Everyone knows that.
Did you hear what Gaspard said to Duke Germain? His own uncle.
Germain bore his nephew's spite better than the rest of the council.
Gaspard is wasting his time. Nothing he does could win over the Council of Railroads now.
He should have considered that before threatening to burn them all in there.
My lady! My lady Inquisitor!
May we have a word? It is very important.
The Empress has sent us with a message for you.
How can I be certain this message is from the Empress?
We three wear the masks of House Valmont.
They signify that we are public faces of the Empress.
They are also extremely fashionable.
I'm always honored to hear from Her Majesty.
Oh, she is the honored one, Inquisitor.
Empress Celine is eager to assist the Herald of Andraste in her holy endeavor.
She will pledge her full support to the Inquisition as soon as the usurper Gaspard is defeated.
That's a generous offer.
The Empress believes wholeheartedly that the Inquisition is our best hope for peace in these difficult times.
She looks forward to cementing a formal alliance.
As soon as Gaspard is out of the way.
But we have taken enough of your time.
Please, enjoy the masquerade, Inquisitor.
You must be mistaken.
No,
I'm quite certain it was blood on the tiles.
If they're playing the game, they're not doing it very well. You don't leave evidence if you play to win.
With Gaspard and that elf woman here, the only one playing to win is Celine.
You only say that because you fancy the Empress's pet apostate. It sickens me to think of the chaos those Maleficarum are causing across the Empire.
Even you cannot deny that the Templars abandoned the faithful in their darkest hour. How can you condone that? They are the ones who should be brought to heel, if you ask me. This is a private conversation.
Did I hear correctly? If you're interested in bringing the Templars to heel, you may have found an ally.
If that's true, I would welcome an alliance with the Inquisition. I will get in touch with your Lady Nightingale. I have assets that might benefit your cause.
Gentlemen.
Where has that servant gone? Elves, always shirking their duties.
Boring.
Have you heard from him?
Too long since I've had it invited.
There must be something here. That's the bell. I should get back. That would be the second bell. Fashionably late now.
Well, what have we here? The leader of the new Inquisition, fabled herald, delivered from the grasp of the Fade by the hand of blessed Andraste herself. What could bring such an exalted creature here to the Imperial Court, I wonder? Do even you know?
I'm here on important business concerning the entire Empire.
As am I, it seems. I am Morrigan. Some call me advisor to Empress Celine on matters of the arcane. You have been very busy this evening, hunting in every dark corner. Perhaps you and I hunt the same prey.
I hope so. I could use another ally here.
A sentiment I share, considering recent events. Recently I found and killed an unwelcome guest within these very halls. An agent of Tevinter. So I often Inquisitor. Found on the Tevinter's body. Where it leads, I cannot say. Yet if Celine is in danger, I cannot leave her side long enough to search. You can.
I may find the time to try to.
Proceed with caution, Inquisitor. Enemies abound, and not all of them aligned with Tevinter. Will be most exciting.
Tavern Ducey.
My third husband, Pierre, lost his life to Rosalia.
Look at Lady Kel's pearls, emeralds. Toss her into the lake and she'll sink right to the bottom. What a disaster.
There's a Tevinson on the loose and you're concerned about buckles on shoes.
Everyone needs a hobby. Besides, you can learn a great deal about it from their clothing. Gold and jewels on a dancing slipper. A slipper is easily lost and finds itself in the dust and dirt. She is unconcerned with the pot using the spoiling it. A vulgar display of wealth. But Lady Cambien's family has recently lost most of its holdings. They have their title, but what else? How did Cambien acquire such a grand shoe, What has she done? Who has she bedded? No?
I found that I'm not sure of its value.
Very interesting. It may not help our investigation. We can put it to use. And we might leverage in the court. If you find more, let me know.
Maximilian swept me.
It's a report for Riyadh.
Enter.
It's time. It does, because we don't know the... You should have considered that before threatening to burn them in their homes.
For his nephew, Inquisitor Lavelle. Is there something I can do? I am Lady Marcelette, Imperial Majesty.
What exactly does a court historian do?
I am responsible for the historical records of the court. I maintain our library and record all official proceedings.
Are you here to chronicle of the evening for posterity?
Oh, this is a momentous, the first meeting between the Grand Id, the important moment. Another time, perhaps.
The game, of course. Celine has something up her sleeve.
There must be something here. Checking out.
Caught in the middle of this crap. Qualified asshole stops to kill a cook.
They always killed my wise they warn someone.
Oh sure, reason. Friggin' garbage.
This was no servant. What was he doing here?
This man was a Council of Herald's emissary. Curious to find him here.
The crest of the Chalon family. Duke Gaspard will answer for this.
Time to have a word with the Duke.
No! No!
Venatori agents! They're watching this approach. They're organized.
Fancy meeting you here. Llewellyn, slumming in the servants' quarters with the rest of your people, for once. We haven't been properly introduced, have we? I'm Ambassador Briala.
I'm glad to meet you finally, Ambassador.
Your reputation for getting results is well deserved. You cleaned this place out. Will take a month to get all the Tevinter blood off the marble. I came down to save or avenge my missing people. But you've beaten me to it. So, the Council of Herald's emissary in the courtyard. That's not your work, is it?
He was derived.
I expected as much. You may have arrived with the Grand Duke, but you don't seem to be doing his dirty work. He was smuggling his chevaliers. Emissary? Bringing Tevinter assassins into the house? Those are desperate acts. Gaspard must be planning to strike tonight.
Are you sure he's behind this? He was too easygoing for a man plotting treason.
Don't let his charm blind you. He's Orlesian. That smile is his mask. I misjudged you, Inquisitor. You might just be an ally worth having. What could you do with an army of elven spies at your disposal? You should think about it.
You know how to make a sales pitch, Ambassador. I'll give you that.
I do, don't I? I know which way the wind is blowing. I'd bet coin that you'll be part of the peace talks before the night is over. And if you happen to lean a little bit our way, it could prove advantageous to us both. Just a thought.
More politics and double-dealing. Is there anyone here who is not corrupt?
It's the game, my dear. Everyone plays it here.
Did you see that knife-eared servant girl in the kitchen? The ginger.
Keep talking. I am starting to believe I was there.
I need to get one of those.
Don't we all?
Is it true what they say? You're the Inquisitor, are you not? We heard stories of your accomplishments.
Some of those might have gone a bit far.
I told you.
And lives to tell. It's an inspiration.
If you'd like, Commander Cullen could give you all the details of that battle. He's in the ballroom.
Really? But I shouldn't leave my post.
You'd only be gone a moment.
Philippe, the world is coming to an end. If we don't hear this story now, we'll never have a chance.
You're right. Thank you, Inquisitor. Let's go.
There must be something here.
Inquisitor Lavalin. We met briefly. I am Grand Duchess Floriane de Chalon. Welcome to my party.
Is there something I can do for you, Your Grace?
Indeed you can. I believe tonight you and I are both concerned by the actions of a certain person. Come, dance with me. Spies will not hear us on the dance floor.
Very well. Shall we dance, Your Grace?
I'd be delighted. Have the Dalish gained a sudden passion for politics? What do you know about our civil war?
What do you think I ought to know?
My brother and my dear cousin have been at each other's throats for too long.
It took great effort tonight's negotiations. Yet one party would use this occasion for blackest treason. The security of the Empire is at stake. Neither one of us would fall.
Do we both want that, Lady Floriane?
I hope we are of one mind on this.
Times like these, it's hard to tell friend from is it not, Your Grace?
I know you arrived here as a guest of my brother Gaspard, and have been everywhere in the palace. You are a curiosity to many, Inquisitor, and a matter of concern to some.
Am I the curiosity or the concern to you, Your Grace?
Little of both, actually. This evening is of great importance, Inquisitor. I wonder what role you will... Do you even know who is friend and who is foe? And the court can be trusted?
Question might ask you, Your Grace.
In the Winter Palace, everyone. It cannot have escaped your notice that certain engaged in dangerous tonight.
I thought dangerous machinations were the national sport.
You have little time. Attack will come soon. Must stop Gaspard before he strikes. In the Royal Wing Garden, you will find the captain of my brother's men. He knows all Gaspard's secrets. I'm sure you can persuade forthcoming.
We'll see what the night has in store, won't we?
You'll be the talk of the court for months. We should take you dancing more often.
I'd happily do more dancing, just not with Corypheus.
I promise not to invite him to your next ball.
Were you dancing with Duchess Floriane?
More importantly, what happened in the servants' quarters? I heard there was fighting.
I hope you have good news. It appears the peace talks are crumbling.
Morrigan helped me get into the servants' quarters, where I found a group of Venatori and Gaspard's dagger.
The man would truly do anything to become Emperor.
Then the attack on the Empress will happen tonight.
Warning Celine is pointless. She needs these talks to succeed. Flee would admit defeat.
Then perhaps we should let her die.
You have an idea, Leliana?
This once is chaos. Even with Celine alive, that could still happen. To foil his plan, the Empire must remain strong. This evening, someone must emerge victorious.
And it doesn't need to be Celine. She's right.
Do you realize what you're suggesting, Leliana?
Some best path is not the easiest one.
I can't decide this. Not yet.
You must. Even inaction is a decision, Inquisitor.
You could speak to Celine in the ballroom, but she won't act. Not without proof.
If Gaspard is guilty, nothing. If he's innocent, he knows nothing. We need the truth.
What did Duchess Floriane tell you?
She said Gaspard's mercenary captain is in the royal wing, that he knows about the assassination.
Which could be a trap.
Or a lead. Either way, search the private wing for clues.
Access, and in the meantime, get your soldiers into position.
At once. Be careful, Inquisitor.
You are an interesting one. A Dalish in the Winter Palace. More genteel than the Grand Duke. Slot in their place has a...
I'd like your opinion of this gathering, milady.
It's doomed to... Of course, Celine knows it should be amusing. We haven't had such a menagerie at court in living memory.
Have you noticed anything?
Too few Imperial guards stand in attendance, my dear. A shame. They are so pleasantly decorative.
Good evening, milady. I found this out. I'm not sure of its value.
They'll never live this down.
Oh, sweet Gérard. My favorite husband
Girl makes me nervous.
Are you happy to see me at all, Josie?
It may not have been what they said.
In Lavalin, how many of the guests have mistaken you for a kitchen servant? You've charmed some of the nobles. We'll see how long you can keep them. What brings you to me?
I want to know more about the peace talks. What's negotiations?
A voice. Simple enough, isn't it? My people have none. We've lived for centuries amid the ranks of society. No one hears us. No one sees us. If the elves of Halam Shiral were elevated, if we had an elven noble at court, we'd have recognition. A voice.
How much can a single member of the court do?
It overnight, if that's what you're asking. Our problem is invisibility. The people in power are used to ignoring us. The scenery. Elves in positions where they can't be overlooked. We need to force humans to take us seriously.
Have the Empress to elevate an elf to nobility.
It is already in place. Celine knows she needs us to tip the balance of the civil war in her favor. All we have to do is wait. She'll exhaust her other options and come to us for help. Then we'll name
every orientation in their government.
A start. That's all this is. Something humans can't ignore, and something elves can aspire to. But that's the future. We need to focus on the task at hand.
If Celine were killed, what would happen to your plans?
Assuming I'm not the one blamed, it would be precarious.
I've been working on Gaspard, but he's like a charging bull. It would be easier to rein him in if I had something that could hurt him.
I want to know more about the peace talks. I had a question about you, Briala.
I'm an elf, Inquisitor. I should tell you everything you need to know about my life. I'm good at what I do. That's all that matters. My people, no matter the cost.
I've been told you were romantically involved with the Empress.
I didn't take you for a monger, Inquisitor. I suppose your spies have already briefed you, so there's no point in pretending. Yes, Celine and I were lovers once, but we've gone our separate ways now.
What's your story? How is an elf invited to the Empress's ball as an ambassador?
Empress Celine and I have history. There was a time when I put my spies at her disposal. She knows my qualifications. We had a falling out. Now we are negotiating to determine whether I return to her side in the war.
What do you mean, we had a falling out?
She betrayed me. Turned me over to the guards on a trumped-up charge to save her political reputation. It wasn't personal. It's the game. That's how all Orlesians justify these things to themselves. It wouldn't do to let the court know she had an elven friend.
If she doesn't win you back to her side, what do you intend to do?
I have contingency plans. I'm not a child putting all my hopes on a single ball. This evening gives me access to Duke Gaspard. He's challenging. Not as progressive or persuadable as his cousin. But with time and sufficient blackmail, he might work with us.
I'm surprised you'd admit that, considering the circumstances.
I know it's incriminating. Few harbor more resentment against Celine than I. But if she died after inviting me here, the court would certainly pin her death on me. An elf assassinating the Empress? Alienages across Orlais, across all Thedas, would be purged. That cannot happen.
You might be interested in what I've found. It's about you, actually. I found the drop point, Briala.
Of course they are. I'd be a poor spy master if I didn't have spies, Inquisitor.
You murdered negotiators and stole their documents.
In Orlesian politics, murder and intrigue are trying. If that shocked you, wait until Celine shows her hand.
We'll speak more later, Ambassador.
I'm Inquisitor.
We can only hope Celine prevails tonight.
Inquisitor,
will ruin
to
us
what do
all.
we owe this honor?
We are always delighted to speak with you, of course. Her Imperial Majesty is unfortunately occupied at present.
My investigations turn interesting. It concerns Ambassador Briala. She killed ambassadors from both Celine and Gaspard, and forged documents to both sides.
How despicable!
After the Empress extended her hospitality, she's better at the game than we thought.
Her people have infiltrated every part of the Winter Palace.
This is extremely alarming, Inquisitor.
She could be spying on our every word. How exciting!
If the evening ends favorably for the Empress, how does the Inquisition benefit?
Her Imperial Majesty brings the might of the Orlesian Empire with her friendship.
She is also a respected diplomat and world leader. She can forge alliances for you with Rivain, Antiva, the Underfels, and she throws the best parties.
I'd like to know more about the negotiations. What is the Empress trying to accomplish with the negotiations?
Peace is her only objective, Inquisitor.
Gaspard and Briala are driven by personal ambitions. but those in the safety of all Orlesians.
The war must end tonight. We must conclude this to deal with the larger crisis.
What's happening with the peace talks now?
Things do not look... The Grand Duke is as stubborn as always. He will not accept anything but victory in battle.
But the night is young, and Her Majesty will do everything she can to persuade him.
Perhaps you could tell me something then. We haven't been properly introduced.
How rude of us to forget.
Milady Inquisitor, may I present Lady Couteau?
And Lady Colombe.
And of course, Lady Fleur. We are the Empress's ladies-in-waiting.
I'd like to know more about Empress Celine.
Her Majesty has held the throne since she was just 16 years old.
Respected and beloved, not just in Orlais, Thidas.
She doesn't care much for liver, and she drinks her tea black.
My investigations turned up something interesting. It concerns the Grand Duke. I intercepted orders to his general to sneak soldiers into the palace tonight.
How could he behave so dishonorably?
He would attack the Empress.
I thought there were more handsome chevaliers on the dance floor than there should be.
Good evening.
Until next time, Inquisitor.
Enjoy the...
Has anyone ever told you that you have the most remarkable...
Several times this evening, actually.
Darling Hervé.
Yeah.
I still
So
cannot
many crimes
believe
of
it was
fashion.
allergic to bees. Never have put rose garden.
Have you seen anything interesting?
Oh, yes. Halam Shiral is lousy with scandals and scheming. But no sign of a Tevinter infiltrator, I'm afraid.
You're different here than in Skyhold. More approachable, perhaps.
This is Halam Shiral, Inquisitor. This is the Imperial Court. This is the beating heart of the Great Game. Of course, everyone is wearing a mask. I learned this very young. I was still a girl when I attended my first ball. All this, the smiles, small talk, it is a dance. And like any dance, it can be learned. For some of us, it has become so familiar that the step formed in our sleep.
Do you really think Briala should be given influence?
Celine has been in power long enough to expect support. If we secure her throne, she'd fall. But such gratitude will pale beside that of one we raise up from nothing. Who is lower than the elf? Place Briala in power, with Gaspard as her mask. Her debt to us will be great indeed. And Gaspard will have the throne he has wanted. With conditions, of course. I suspect he will still find it gratifying.
I should go, Bard.
I always am.
I told my seventh husband.
This ball is like all in foolishness. Let's find the Venatori collaborator and get out of here.
Have you witnessed anything noteworthy?
Nothing yet. I will let you know.
You don't seem to care much for the ball.
Orlesians pretend their petty squabbles are a game. Yes, let us treat murder, corruption, and deceit as delightful amusements. How wonderful. We are here to save Empress Celine, and it galls me. Does she merit our protection? The Empire would be better off without her. Gaspard is the leader Orlais needs in this crisis.
You support the civil war?
Of course not. Chaos is what Corypheus wants, and we must oppose him. Were it up to me, however, I would let Celine fall and Gaspard take the throne. He would see the true threat, not spend his balls and writing letters.
Know where the enemy is hiding.
I'll be watching for trouble. The sooner we leave this place, the better.
Interesting. Well, that's useful.
Room after room, and for what? Ruffle story. Full.
Hello? Is anyone there? Somebody? Anybody?
Oh, thank you.
Are you all right?
I don't think I'm hurt. No one's supposed to be here. Briala said... Oh, I shouldn't have trusted her.
Briala told you to come to this wing of the palace?
Not personally. The ambassador can't be seen talking to the servants. We get coded messages at certain locations, but the order came from her. She's been watching the Grand Duke all night. No surprise she wanted someone to search his sister's room.
So this room belonged to Florian?
This had been her private charal since she was a child. But this part of the palace was damaged, and the royal family moved...
This wing is sealed. How did you get in here?
Easy. The door was unlocked. One of the others probably handled it.
Is there anyone else who knows the code and the drop location who could have written those orders?
I don't know. Any of us could do it, but... No. No one else would send me here. It had to be Briala.
What were you trying to find in Florian's old room?
The message didn't say. I should have known it was a setup.
It takes great courage to come to the royal wing unarmed.
It's not courage to blindly follow Briala's orders into a trap. I knew her. Before. When she was Celine's pet. Now she wants to play revolution, but I remember. She was sleeping with the Empress who purged our alienage.
She probably did send you to your death.
If the Inquisition will protect me, I'll tell you everything I know about our ambassador.
Knew it. I did. And I bet the hate made it feel real good.
Go to the ballroom. Find Commander Cullen. He'll keep you safe.
Thank you. Make her protect you, Inquisitor.
What's this then? Swapping all the gold demons, I bet.
Inquisitor, what a pleasure. I wasn't certain you'd attend. You're such a challenge to read. I had no idea Bates.
I had a feeling you were mixed up in all this.
Such a pity. You could almost be Orlesian, if you were just a little quicker. It was kind of you to walk into my trap so willingly. I was so tired of your meddling. Corypheus insisted that the Empress die tonight, and I would hate to disappoint him.
You don't have to go through with this, Florian. There's still time to turn back.
Oh, my dear Inquisitor, you are so naive. In their darkest dreams, no one imagines I would assassinate Celine myself. All I need is to keep you out of the ballroom long enough to strike. A pity you'll miss the rest of the ball, Inquisitor. They'll be talking of it for years. Kill her. Bring me the marked hand as proof. It will make a fine gift for the Master.
Trust his tits. What was all that? Were those demons? There aren't any more of those blasted demons coming, right?
No more demons. It's safe.
Maker? I've never seen one that close before. I knew Gaspard was a bastard, but I didn't think he'd feed me to fucking horrors over a damn bill.
Your accent sounds Ferelden. I thought you were one of Gaspard's mercenaries.
Born and raised in Denerim. Like I should have stayed there. Move on the palace tonight. But he didn't have enough fancy chevaliers. So he hired me. He had to offer us triple our usual pay to come to Orlais. Stinking poncy.
I need you to tell that to the Empress.
Ruthless, if predictable.
One assassin, right? Should the rest just queue up?
You saved my life. I owe you. And Gus paid me. You want me to talk to the court or bastard street? I'll do it.
Thank the Maker you're back. The Empress will begin her speech soon. What should we do?
The Grand Duchess is the assassin. Don't let her anywhere near the Empress.
Duchess? At once, Inquisitor.
Let all gathered attend. Her Imperial Majesty will now...
Lords and ladies, as a nation, we mourn our sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, and lovers claimed by war. The sky is torn open, our divine is dead, and many fear the end of all things comes upon us. Orlais must stand as a bastion, a bulwark behind which all Fedas may take shelter. So has it stood for 1,000 years. So shall it ever stand. This would not be without the efforts of many. Dear cousin, please step forward.
Duchess, stand down!
Now! For Corypheus, kill them all!
Cullen, protect the people!
Yes, Inquisitor.
Return. You stole the moment of my triumph, just as you stole the demon army from Erimond. And now you've chased a defenseless woman into the garden. Are you proud of yourself?
We have the palace. Surrender, Your Grace. You don't have to die today.
Surrender? Now? Oh, you did think. The night is still young. All I need to recover is to kill you, Inquisitor. So good of you to attend my soirée.
Come back, Florian!
Your sister attempted regicide in front of the entire court, Gaspard.
You, spy master. If anyone knew this atrocity, it was you.
You don't deny your involvement.
Do deny it. I knew nothing of Florian's plans. But you knew it all and did nothing.
I don't know which is better. That you think I'm all-seeing, or that you're trying so hard to... and failing.
Enough. We will not bicker while Tevinter plots against our nation. For the safety of the Empire.
I wouldn't have caught Florian in time without Briala's help.
You were working together?
Of course.
Thanks to Briala, Gaspard's mercenary captain will testify that he hired men...
Don't be naive, Celine.
Keep talking, Gaspard. Eventually, you'll convince some...
I have done no such thing.
He also... Briala...
In light of by sentenced to death.
You have enough proof to dissolve his support for the...
As of Gaspard?
Is all?
Thank you, Inquisitor. You have done a service for the Empire never to be forgotten, my... This Lords, those who... Gaspard de Chalon, we have lost in our... Will you address the court, my friend?
Ending the war was the first step.
Well said. We are... Tonight...
The Orlais... Do you tire so quickly of their...
Everyone...
Celine wishes to offer you any...
Welcome.
I should...
Is everything all right? You look troubled.
This isn't over yet.
He surely will. Is there anything I can do? Can I get you anything?
It's time to head back to Sky.
The matter is...
I am well.
We will...
That's...
Please, may I have a word with...
How may I...
With the political turmoil, our minds turn...
I have...
But surely with the support of the Empire.
And Cassandra would have to make that decision for themselves.
And they certainly will. At the Inquisitor... You don't let... We've beaten his work. Cullen is hoping...
Your sister attempted regicide in entire court, Gaspard.
You're the spy master. I knew this atrocity was coming. It was you.
You don't deny your involvement.
I do deny it. I knew nothing of Orlais' plans. But you knew it all and did nothing.
I don't... That you think I'm all-seeing? Or that you're trying so hard to play innocent and failing?
Enough. We will not bicker while Tevinter plots against our nation. For the safety of the Empire, I will have...
Your captain tells me you spent all night sneaking mercenaries into the palace, Bard. You intended to attack.
And where did your troops come from, Inquisitor? If sneaking men into the palace is damning, then we are both damned.
I have the instructions. You sent your general to sneak men into the palace in preparation for an attack.
It was a defensive choice. I expected betrayal here, just not by my own sister.
By all means, continue to protest your innocence, Gaspard. Find this performance endlessly fascinating.
His own mercenary captain will confirm that Gaspard brought hired thugs into the palace for an attack.
Mercenaries? So much for your chevalier honor, cousin.
We've all heard enough to damn the Grand Duke.
Thank you.
No.
In light of overwhelming evidence, choice but to... You are hereby sentenced to death.
You have enough proof to dissolve his support for the throne, Your Majesty. You don't need to take his life.
As a favor to you, Inquisitor, I will let him. Gaspard, you are hereby bound the Empire on pain of death.
Is that all? You're too kind, Celine.
Thank you, Inquisitor. You have done a service for the Empire never to be forgotten, my friend. This piece... Orlais... Lords, those who... Guess we have in our... And in... Will you address the court, my friend?
The civil war may have ended, but the fighting has just begun. The battle is far from over.
We of the court must use our resources. Not every battle is won on the field, but that is tomorrow. Tonight, feast, my friends. Enjoy our victory. There will be many more to come.
The Orlesian nobility make drunken toasts to your... Do you tire so quickly of their congratulations?
Everyone suddenly wants to talk to me. You, at least, I'm glad to see.
Then I have happy news. But Celine wishes to offer you any and all...
Welcome to the Inquisition, Mori.
A most gracious response. I shall...
Is everything... You look troubled.
I'm just... Tonight has been very long.
It was a tumultuous evening, but Orlais is safe now. It was worth this. Is there anything I can do? Can I get you anything? A drink, perhaps?
It's time to head back to Skyhold.
Of course.
The matter is urgent, Lady Josephine.
I am well aware of...
We will need them to return.
That's quite impossible.
Please.
Oh, man.
With the...
I have all...
But surely with the support of the Empire.
Liliana
and they certainly will. You must excuse us. Don't. We've beaten.